Children, now let's see the another interesting type of matter that is because of water. Here see, water vapor turn back into a liquid. You have seen solid is converted to liquid, liquid is converted to solid, and liquid is converted to vapor. Now this gas is converting into liquid. Why? Because water vapor is a gas. The gas is converted to liquid. The gas is converted to liquid. How is it possible? Let's see. So here say, you can see water vapor turn back into a liquid. When you fill a dry glass with water, so when you fill the dry glass, so this is water, children, and ice. This is ice. After some time, you will see, after a while, you will see droplets of water gathering on the outside of glass. So this is a common experience for everyone. When you will touch the glass from outside, okay, you can see the droplets of water, which is nothing but it's a liquid. So what is happening here? The vapor is converted to the liquid, which is called as condensation. Which is called as condensation, children. So far we have learned 4 things. One is melting, children. Second one is freezing. Third one is vaporization. Fourth one is condensation. Melting is the conversion of solid to liquid. Freezing is liquid to solid. Vaporization is liquid to gas. And condensation is gas to liquid. See, children, how this water is converting. So ice is converted to water in terms of in melting, and water is converted to ice in freezing. Here water is converted to gas, that is steam, in vaporization, and water vapor turns back into the liquid in condensation. Okay, children, now see the solutions. See, children, what is a solution? It's an homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means, like, if you'll see, salt plus water, it is a homogeneous mixture. Sand plus water, it is heterogeneous mixture. It is heterogeneous, where this is homogeneous. Salt and water. Why? Because salt dissolves in water, whereas sand, it won't dissolve in water. Sugar plus water. Yes. Alcohol plus water. So here, these are homogeneous mixture. In the statement, homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances, but we find only 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But 2 or more substances sometimes. If you go for lemon here, this is the third substance. If you go for soda, carbon dioxide, this is the third substance. So, a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances, okay, is called as solution. And in this solution, the component which is taken in less quantity, see, in salt and water, this is less quantity, whereas water is more quantity. Okay, and solute dissolves in solvent. So salt is less quantity, which is solute. It dissolves in water, which is solvent. Okay. So here, solute is always dissolves in solvent. Solute. Sugar is a solute. Alcohol is a solute. Carbon dioxide is a solute. But this is solvent. In maximum number of cases, water is used as a solvent. Why? Because so many substances get dissolved in water. So here, that is why water is called as universal solvent. Water is called universal solvent. If you will go for one more, naphthalene. See children, naphthalene. Do you know naphthalene? Yes, that's white color balls that are kept in the cloths and almirahs, okay, which keeps the cockroaches away and gives a good smell. So that naphthalene is insoluble in water. Yes, children. Then, but where it is soluble? It is soluble in kerosene or petrol. So in this case, naphthalene is solute, whereas kerosene and petrol are solvent. In this case, water is not used as a solvent. So the solutions in which water is used as a solvent are called as aqueous solutions. A solution using water as a solvent is called aqueous solutions. Once again I repeat, solute and solvent together become solution. Salt and water gives salt water. Salt is taken less in quantity, which is called as solute. Water is taken as more in quantity, which is called as solvent. And in maximum number of cases, water is used as a solvent. Why? Because it has the capacity to dissolve almost all the substances, but not in all cases. Some special cases are also there. Naphthalene is a substance which is not, which won't dissolve in water. It dissolves in kerosene or petrol. In that case, water is not used there. Okay. So a solution using water as a solvent is called as aqueous solution. What is the common solvent on earth, and our life depends on it? Yes, children. Not only human beings, even animals and plants requires water. Plants requires water for food preparation also, which is called as photosynthesis. Okay. Children, now it is very important experiment to prove solubility of salt in water. So solubility means the capacity to dissolve. The capacity to dissolve is called as solubility. The capacity to dissolve, how much it is dissolving, how much the salt is dissolving in the water is called as solubility. Let's go for the materials. See children, for any experiment, aim, materials, procedure, result. So what is our aim? Experiment to prove solubility of salt in water. So what are the materials that are required? Water is required, children. Alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, you can take 70% or more. Salt, which is very important. Why? Because we are proving the solubility of salt in here. This is a graduated cylinder to measure the liquids, to clear plastic cups, to small plastic cups. Okay, to clear, here see, 2 small plastic cups and to clear plastic cups. See, these are the clear plastic cups now down. And a balance. Balance is to measure the things. Okay, right. Once again I repeat, in this experiment, for any experiment you have to write 4 things. One is aim, materials required, procedure, and result. So these are common, children, for any experiment in the science. Aim, materials required, procedure, and result. Now our aim is to prove solubility of salt in water. So what are the materials that are required? Water, isopropyl alcohol, salt, graduated cylinder, 2 clear plastic cups. See, the salt is there. 2 clear plastic cups, 2 small plastic cups, and a balance. And a balance. Now let's see the procedure. Okay, children, this is the procedure, children. What is this? This is procedure. The diagram, if you can observe, you can see totally 4 cups. 2 cups, clear cups. Okay, 2 clear cups are with salt. So, in separate cups, measure 2 samples of salt that weighs 5 grams. 5 grams here and 5 grams here. So, what is the first point? In separate cups, measure 2 samples of salt. So, here what is there? Sample of salt, and here also sample of salt. Place 15 ml of water and alcohol into 2 separate cups. So, here 15 ml of water, and here also 15 ml of alcohol. So, this is water, children, and this is alcohol. Add water and alcohol to the samples of salt. Now, the process is going on. See, the addition of water to the salt to the first cup, but in the second cup, instead of water, alcohol is added to the second cup. It's very simple, children. You have to take 2 cups. In 2 cups, you have to place 5 grams of salt. Place 15 ml of water in 1 separate cup again, and place 15 ml of alcohol in another separate cup. Third process, go for the addition of water to the salt in the first case, alcohol to the salt in the second case. After that, what you have to do? Yes, you have to go for, why? Because here we are checking the solubility. Yes, you have to go for the dissolving the things, dissolving water in the salt, dissolving alcohol in the salt. So, swill both the cups for 20 seconds. Swilling means shaking, or you can keep the spoon and you can mix. Okay, swill both the cups in the same way for about 20 seconds and check for the amount of salt dissolved. So, first 20 seconds we have swilled, like this we have swilled. So, after 20 seconds, check how much salt is dissolved in the water in the first case, how much salt is dissolved in the alcohol in the second case. How do you know how much it is dissolved? Yes, if it is dissolved completely, nothing will remain here. If it is dissolved incompletely, something will remain in the glass. Okay, right. So, swill for another 20 seconds and check, swill for the last 20 seconds and check. That is the reason I wrote 2, 3. First 20 seconds, you have to do like this, and you have to check here. Next 20 seconds, same thing. Third, this is the last 20 seconds, totally 60 seconds. 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. So, 1 minute you have to go for swilling the glasses. Okay. Carefully pour off the water and alcohol from the cups. After that, after swirling for 1 minute or 60 seconds, in this cup, water will be there. Why? Because we have added water. In this cup, alcohol will be there. Why? Because we have added alcohol in the second one. So, after 60 seconds or 1 minute, you just pour off the water and alcohol from the cups. Carefully pour off the water and alcohol from the cups and compare the amount of undissolved salt left in each cup. So, after 60 seconds, you will pour off. Why? Because see here, now it is mixed. Now it is mixed here. Here also now it is mixed. After 60 seconds, you will pour water here. After 60 seconds, you will pour alcohol here. And the cups, now you have to check whether there is any undissolved. Undissolved means which is not mixed with water. After 60 seconds swirling also, something definitely which is left out. Now you have to take that. Okay. So, expected result. Finally, expected result. There will be less undissolved salt in the cup with water than the alcohol. This means more salt is dissolved in the water. So, children, this is in the first case, this is in the second case. In which case you will observe more undissolved salt. Yes, in the second case only. Less undissolved salt in the first case. Less undissolved salt remaining means so much of the salt is dissolved in the water but something only left. More left out means less is dissolved, more is left out. So that means what did you conclude from this experiment? Yes, from this experiment we will conclude that salt dissolves more in water. In the first case, that is why less undissolved salt is there. Salt dissolved less in alcohol, that is the reason more is left out. Once again I repeat, children, this is very important experiment. This experiment is proving the solubility of salt in water. For that, the material required are water, isopropyl alcohol, salt, graduated cylinder to measure, 2 clear plastic cups, 2 small plastic cups and a balance. What you have done in the first case? Very simple. You have taken 2 clear plastic cups. You have placed 5 grams of salt and 5 grams of salt. Next case, you have taken 2 more small cups. In one cup you have taken 15 ml of water. In another cup, yes, 15 ml of alcohol. What is the third step? You are going on adding of water to the salt. Here in the second case, you are adding alcohol to the salt. After that, just swirl for 60 seconds. And you pour out the water in the first case, only the salt will remain. You pour out the alcohol from the glass, only the salt will remain. If more salt remains, yes, that indicates that is less dissolved. If less salt remains, that indicates that is more dissolved. In which case you will find less salt? Yes, in the water. In the water, more salt is dissolved. That is why in the glass only little bit left. In the alcohol, less is dissolved, more is left. From this experiment, it is clear that salt dissolves more in water. Okay. Children, now it's time to recall the lesson once again. State changes of matter are physical rather than the chemical. As you have already learned, physical. What are physical changes? Change in the color, change in the shape, change in the weight. All these comes under physical change. Actually, matter is divided into physical classification and chemical classification. Physical classification is solids, liquids and gases. Chemical is pure substances and mixtures. Again, pure substances are divided into 2 children, elements and compounds. Mixtures are again divided into 2, homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means same, heterogeneous means yes, different. And pure substances, elements and compounds. Elements are single, compounds are combination. Even compounds are divided into 2, inorganic and organic. You know that matter is made up of atoms and molecules. Yes, the arrangement of these particles determine the state of matter. So, how many are there? 3, solid, liquid and gas. So, matter can change between the states when temperature or pressure is changed. Yes, children. And we have sang a song also. Solids, very important point. Solids have fixed volume and shape. Liquids have fixed volume but take the shape of the container. Gases have no fixed volume or shape. They expand to fill all available space. You have already learned that space between the solid particles is less. In liquid, it's somewhat more. In gases, it is very more. Okay. And next one, here the solids, actually the position, the particles are fixed. They vibrate but stay in a related position. And solid cannot be changed their shape. It is very, very difficult to change. Soft solids can be changed. You can go for the clay. You can mold the clay. Hard one, it is very difficult. Example is wood. Okay. And even the solids expand on heating. The best example is railway lines can buckle on hot days, children. This is called expansion. Even metals are crystalline, they conduct the electricity. Okay, and here at low pressures, that range of temperature for the liquid is very less. Okay, if the pressure is low enough, the liquid phase does not happen, children. So here, let's go for the solubility. Yes, here, water is an universal solvent. It can dissolve so many substances. The substances which are dissolving are called solute, and the substance which dissolves in something is called as solvent. Solids like common salt, that is liquids like alcohol, gases like carbon dioxide can dissolve in water, children. They are said to be soluble in water. And oils are insoluble. When a mixture of oil and water is taken, okay, that result is emulsion. If insoluble solid is mixed with water, that is called suspension. Okay, and change of matter, children, I told you already clearly, we can change from one thing to other thing. So water is an interesting type. Freezing, the change of a liquid to solid. Yes, we can convert water to ice if we'll keep the water in the refrigerator. That is freezing. Okay, so that is the change of liquid to solid is freezing. Melting, the change of solid to liquid. If you take out the ice cubes from the refrigerator and keep at the room temperature, yes, the ice cube melts. And if you go on boil the water for so much time, you can see the vapors, that is called as vaporization, liquid to vapor. And you can convert vapor back into the liquid, that is called as condensation. Solute is the substance which is dissolved. Solvent, substance in which a solute dissolves. A solution using water as a solvent is called as aqueous solution. Water is the most common solvent on earth and life depends on it. And we have seen the solubility of salt in water by doing the experiment. Okay, so solids have a fixed shape and volume. Solutions are homogeneous mixtures. Okay, liquids can be very different from each other, but they all can be poured. Liquids can be poured into the bottles, into the pots, into the containers. Water is an interesting type of matter, just now I told. Gases have no fixed volume or shape, children. Thank you. This is the lesson of matter.